Ladies and gentlemen, it's 7 o'clock. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Mayor McNeil and Councilman Bueller are absent tonight. Old business, approval of minutes. I need a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of April 20th, 2023 as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and second. Please call the roll.
Mr. Sednica?
Yes.
Mr. Gardner?
Yes.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Major?
Same.
Mr. Garvey? Mr. Clemens?
Yes.
Mr. Brungard?
Yes. All right, audience participation. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to address the council on an item not on the agenda? Yes, sir. If you could go to the microphone, state your name.
Good evening, Mr. President and members of the council, staff. Rob Gassel on Cottonwood Drive in Lansing, and also the chairman of the Board of Trustees for Fire District Number 1. Just a few things for a few minutes. I was in this room a week ago tonight when the council and representatives from the two townships were sitting right here and happily having a very good discussion with each other. My commendations to you folks for making that go well. In listening to that, there was from time to time some things that I might have disagreed with or thought perhaps there was some context missing from that. But it occurred to me really quickly that that was not as important as you guys just having a conversation and not having furniture broken or anything exciting like that. So perhaps there was other times to talk with you about those items. And I'd like to do that beginning tonight and in future meetings. So my intent is to inform not about the future of Fire District Number 1, that's your business, but rather to maybe fill in the gaps a little bit between Fire District Number 1 as it currently operates with the city as it currently operates. I'll pick some topics from time to time, but tonight just picking a few off of the top from the conversation a week ago. It was said that once trustees are appointed by you, so that would include me, to be a trustee at the fire district, that we are no longer a voice for the city. And I thought about that and I said, that doesn't feel like how we are behaving. It's true that the interlocal agreement says, and I'll read it, that each member of the Fire District Board of Trustees so appointed shall represent the whole of the district and shall act in the best interests of the fire district. That's true, I believe in that, and I think all of the trustees from all of the entities are doing just that. But I've never felt that there's a conflict between me representing what the city is interested in or concerned about and being a trustee looking out for the whole of the district. I think that's true for the other trustees as well. I don't think they are in conflict. I've never been told by any member of the city government that we're doing something wrong in that regard. Never been told by citizens that we're off base in that regard. And I have some counterexamples, I'll give you two of them, of where we have represented the city with the fire district. The first is, when I was appointed, I was specifically asked to help lower the temperature. Previous to that, there had been a lot of food fights over the future of the fire district. Lowering the temperature seemed like a very appropriate thing to do. So for the next several years, all of us have worked to lower the temperature. Inside the fire district, between the entities, between us and the entities, between us and the press, us and the county, at every turn, we've done that. And I think we've done that well. Again, no conflict in carrying out your wishes. One more example. I was told early on that the city was concerned when Fire District Number 1 automatically rolled on emergency services calls when other entities were already rolling. We looked at that, and when we hired a new chief, asked him to look into it, and found that, that's a good point. There were times when duplication of effort was not serving the needs of the citizens of the fire district, costs us more money to do. We put in some new protocols with dispatch, and so we've carried your wishes to the fire district. Just want to reinforce the notion that taking city positions to the fire district is not inherently in conflict. Also, there was a comment that replacing trustees is hard to do, maybe impossible to do. Some said, oh yeah, it's easy to do. I will make it easy. If the mayor ever asks me, can't speak for the other two, asks me to resign, I will do that. If I'm not meeting the needs of you folks, then send me packing. Word of caution, some of my weeks are, as a volunteer, are more than 40-hour weeks at the fire district. But again, if that's not working for the city, please let me know. Last comment for tonight. There was a comment made by a council member that said a citizen approached him concerned about the budget of Fire District Number 1. I guess he means the cost to him as a taxpayer. The council member replied that, yes, I'm concerned too about the exorbitant costs that it takes to run the fire district. But a moment later, the discussion turned to how the city could easily exceed the 9 mil statutory cap that we have and could spend lots of money on the fire district. I found that somewhat incongruent or maybe even incoherent. Fire District Number 1 has learned to live within the 9 mil cap. We have done things budget-wise that I think are very responsible and in the interests of the city. Besides the interlocal agreement that I referenced, in our own bylaws, we point out that the board implicitly represents the district's taxpayers. In other words, we've set up an adversarial relationship within our governing body so that the chief brings the concerns of the employees, we bring the concerns of the taxpayers to our meetings, to our discussions, to our votes. And in doing so, we think that we've been very responsible from a budgetary standpoint. Would like to hear any time if members of the council, staff, or citizens think that we need to do something different. Have not heard that to date. So with that, good talk. Thank you. Talk again.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hey, Rob, why don't you stay up here, because if anybody have any comments?
No.
I'll be back.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
All right. Next, we have the National Library Week proclamation, and Councilman Kirby has agreed to read the proclamation.
Not the one I had.
Economic development.
Oh,
I
I'm
apologize.
I was gonna say we did that.
This is.
Where we at?
Right place, wrong. Should be economic development. Economic development.
Okay, well, I got National Library.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
For the week.
All right. I apologize.
My
I knew
fault.
that. That's.
It's my fault.
No,
I
stop,
apologize.
Stop. Simple mistake. Okay, economic development. Ready? Yes. Okay. I'm assuming Josh will go up.
Communities rely on economic development professionals to promote economic well-being and quality of life for communities like the city of Lansing. That means coordinating activities that create, retain, and expand jobs in order to facilitate growth, enhance wealth, and provide a stable tax base. Economic developers stimulate and incubate entrepreneurism in order to help establish the next generation of new businesses, which is the hallmark of the American economy. Economic developers are engaged in a wide variety of settings, including rural and urban, local, state, provincial, and federal governments, public-private partnerships, chambers of commerce, universities, and a variety of other institutions. Economic developers attract and retain high-quality jobs, develop vibrant communities, and improve the quality of life in their regions. Economic developers work with the City of Lansing. Therefore, the City of Lansing in the state of Kansas proclaims the week of May 8th through 12th in the year 2023 as Economic Development Week in the City of Lansing, and remind individuals of the importance of this community celebration, which supports expanding business opportunities and making lives better.
I just wanted to say that economic development must be a collaborative effort within a community in order to have a thriving town with good paying jobs, excellent schools, successful small businesses, and a good standard of living. LCDC greatly appreciate Lansing's support and recognition. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gene. New business. J.K. Root final plat. The owners of 292 West Gilman propose to subdivide a 1.2-acre parcel into a 2-lot subdivision. The current driveway is on the city right-of-way on Gilman Road. On March 16th, 2023, the City Council approved the preliminary plat with several notes to add to the final plat. The City Council approved the continued and expanded usage of city property as a driveway for the 2 lots proposed by the final plat. The Planning Commission met on April 19th and voted 4-2 to recommend approval to the City Council. This time I need a motion. I would entertain a motion to approve the J.K. Root subdivision.
Make a motion to approve the J.K. Root subdivision.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Discussion from anybody? Okay, if not, please call the roll.
Mr. Stednicka?
Yes.
Mr. Gardner?
Yes.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Major?
Yes.
Mr. Garvey?
Yes.
Mr. Clemens?
Yes.
Mr. Brungard?
Yes. All right. New business. Zimmerman property rezoning. The applicant proposes to rezone a 4.726 acre portion of Lot 1, Lansing Town Center, from B-3 to R-4. The rezoning, if approved, would allow the applicant to construct an apartment complex which would be categorized as a medium apartment use under the UDO Article 4.03 permitted uses. So I would need a motion to approve ordinance number 1094, an ordinance to rezone Lot 1 Lansing Town Center, 0000 Center Drive from a B3 to an R4.
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Does this include that, where they had to move it because of the sewer line?
Yep, so from the original plans that they submitted several months ago to the one now, I think they did shift it to the east about 50 feet. So it is slightly more than we originally had spoken about.
Thank you.
Jeff Beckler from Zimmerman Properties is here in case anyone has any questions.
Second, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff Beckler with Zimmerman Properties. Yeah, through the course of our diligence, there was a sewer easement. And of course, you guys all know that site. There's some topo challenges. And once our engineers started digging into it, that 55 feet just eliminated a lot of issues. So that's why that happened.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion? All right. Please call the roll.
Mr. Stednica?
Yes.
Mr. Gardner?
Yes.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Major?
Yes.
Mr. Garvey?
Yes.
Mr. Clemens?
Yes.
Mr. Brungard?
Yes. Okay, reports, department heads, city attorney,
Nothing to report, Mayor.
city engineer,
Nothing to report.
city administrator.
So I think you guys all saw, we were able to receive that $1.3 million grant. We are absolutely thrilled about that. We're thankful to the county. Originally, they had a joint application with us, so a lot of the application that we submitted the second time, it was almost a carbon copy of that first application, assisted by Leavenworth County. So we are really appreciative to the county for that. One thing that came up, so I mean, we were approved for $1.3 million. That is a little bit less than we had asked for. So one of the things that we were looking at potentially doing, and this is something we could discuss more thoroughly at a future meeting, but we had talked about that town center sewer project and maybe bidding that in the fall. That's not really a time-sensitive project. So that's a project we could tackle in 2024. If we wanted to use money earmarked for that is our match for this project, we could do that. Again, maybe that's more something to keep in the back of your mind. So that was the main thing I had, just that we're thrilled about that grant project. It's going to open up hundreds of acres for future development in southern Lansing, right on K7 and the McIntyre corridor. It'll be a great thing.
Big dang deal.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's all I have.
Really?
Yes.
All right. Council members, start with Gene.
Sure. Just 2 weeks ago, committee was formed in order to rename the fishing derby after Councilman Trinkle. I've had several meetings with the family. Last Monday, Don, Kevin, and I, and Jason met at the park. Jason's involvement is because we don't want to interfere in his operation if we don't have to. So I think we've pretty much decided on a location that we want to use. So we are currently in a process of determining what kind of signage we want, where we're going to get it, how much it's going to cost, and where we're going to get the money. Those things are certainly down the road. And I know there was some discussion about naming a ball field after Dave, but to know the whole history, the fishing derby makes more sense, and the family is 100% behind the fishing derby renaming.
That was Dave's baby.
Yes. This is the 23rd year. Dave was active every year until COVID hit, and then he got sick. But Dave used to go to the fishing derby with his tackle box full in case any little kids needed anything. He was instrumental in obtaining prizes and donations to give out to the kids. So it was in fact his thing. Quick story, first fishing derby, the pond was so full of algae that the kids' hooks wouldn't fall into the water.
Goodness.
So Dave and Mark Brown ran home and got Dave's flat bottom boat and a big long board and went down and started paddling and moved the algae out of the way so the kids' hooks would fall into the water.
That's great.
That's where he was at with that. So we're moving along. We're making good progress. I'm not sure. We're exploring several different options. And the family wishes to express their sincere appreciation for the effort we're about to undertake here. That's all I have.
Thank you, Gene. Appreciate it. Marcus?
Hey, I want to thank Rob for coming tonight, and I want to appreciate your kind remarks and clarification of things, and put a shout out for anybody that would like to come to our meetings. We have that open time, and look for audience to come. We always like to hear from our audience. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
That's
Marcus.
all I have.
Jesse?
Yeah, thanks, Rob, for coming in and sharing your thoughts with us. We appreciate it. So, and thanks to Gene and the committee for finding a way to honor Councilmember Trinkle's memory. You know, he served a lot of years. He deserves something in this town that says he served. I agree 100% with what you guys are doing. That's all I've got.
Tish, it just occurred to me, I didn't start right, did I?
That's okay.
You're okay.
We're good.
Are we good?
Yep.
All right.
Just keep going.
You just did what
You're in charge.
We got this.
We can start wherever you want.
Yep.
Okay. Councilman Clevens?
I don't have anything to add to what's already been said, so I will pass the baton.
Tom?
I don't have anything, Mayor, other than what's been already said. Thank you.
Yeah, just like to acknowledge the Economic Department, Joshua and Chief, the Police Department, and Mike for the Public Works Department this week. So, and yes, I got to meet Dave's son, and he did have some good insight and good information on what we were talking about. So that's all I have.
Thanks, Kevin. Mr. Gaston, thanks for attending tonight. Appreciate your comments. I think that's it.
Motion.
So I need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Motion and second to adjourn. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Studnicka?
Yes.
Mr. Gardner?
Yes.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Major?
Yes.
Mr. Garvey?
Yes.
Mr. Clemens?
Yes.
And Mr. Brungard?
Yes. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, folks.